So my mentor Ron LeGrand last week I had an opportunity to hang out with him for all day. And what he told me was this: he's been buying real estate since 1984. And while I was hanging out with him, he said, "You know what, Chris? I've been doing this over 40 years, buying and selling real estate." And he said, "There hasn't been one year that I haven't been able to find people to buy houses from. And further, he told me, Chris, there hasn't been one year that I haven't found people to sell them to." And when we think about the current climate of the market now, I know everybody thinks real estate sucks. Everybody thinks real estate is in the trash. Everybody thinks real estate is done. And I am here to just remind us all that the true real estate entrepreneurs run two problems while everybody else is running away. Can I get a witness on that? Can I get a witness? Am I the only one that's happy about that? Everybody else is running away. It's so crazy. I can look at, so I am in these high level masterminds, and every person is having the same problem. Overpriced, I'm sorry, over leveraged houses that people bought between 2000, 2019, 2021, maybe 22, over leveraged them. They owe more than what the house is worth. And the monthly payment is too high. And it's so crazy. As we, every Sunday, Dan and I come on here, I'm waiting for Dan now. We're going to take calls, take questions. I'm going to show you guys what we're doing. It's so crazy. I just feel like I am in this twilight zone. That's why I get therapy. Just 4 years ago, I'm going live talking to people about how prices are extremely high, like where there's tons of equity for everybody to go out there and get. Now it's just truly amazing. I'm looking at the current climate and there's no equity in these houses. Isn't that cool? Just to kind of, I feel honored to be able to live in a time where values, let's just look at this. I was looking at some stats, some charts before I brought y'all along here. Where is it at? Where's that last chart? This is amazing. Let's take a look at this last chart I was looking at. Oh, share screen. Share screen. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, look, this is what we were able to live through, y'all. How many people can say that? Ooh, look at this. Values went up 193. I mean, consumer price, housing price. I, when I look at what we just came through, it is so cool just to be able to live this. I don't know about y'all, but I am extremely honored. This is 2020, 2024, 2024. Okay. Nominal price. Look at everything just shot through the roof. And if anybody out there feels like they were slighted or they're like not getting what they want out of real estate is cyclical. It will come back. Let me put the phone number up here. I don't know where Dan is. I'm praying. I guess he's going to come on. Get your questions answered. you can put them in the chat or give me a call. Where you guys chiming in from? What's going on? Hollins, how you doing, my brother? My bankruptcy. Hey, Castillo, good to see you guys. So as I was getting prepared for this, I noticed that, and I see it too, everybody is just scared. Everybody is looking around. Miss James, what up? Miss Jackson, good to see you guys. Okay, let's go over the bad news. Market shift, was that it there? The balance of power. I keep thinking, who cares about this stuff? But I got to pay attention. The U.S. housing market now has 500,000 more sellers than buyers, and it's leading to a shift in the balance of power. Who cares, right? But I got to pay attention to this stuff because this is what everybody else is looking at. The tables are turning, U.S. housing market. And this time, buyers are calling the shots. They always call. It's been around like this before. There are an estimated 2 million homes for sale across the country, but only about 1.5 million active home buyers. That leaves a gap of nearly 500,000, the largest on record, according to Redfin. Okay. The balance of power in the U.S. housing market has shifted towards buyers, but a lot of sellers have yet to see or accept the writing on the wall. Let me tell you what buyers are thinking. Many are still holding out that their home is the exception and will fetch top dollar. U.S. home prices were still up 4% year over year as a slight dip from January, 4% gain, but a growing supply of homes, which means we're flipping more. And increased mortgage rates are cooling the market, according to the S&P CoreLogic. CoreLogic is the biggest data. They're just the biggest homies on the block. That's left some sellers, especially those who bought at the peak of the pandemic, trying to recoup their investment, such as buyer demand starts to slow. With listings rising, more people trying to sell, and buyers getting more selective, the big question is, now the best time to sell? That is the question. That's the question. What's going on, y'all? Let me know where you're chiming in from. I know Deborah's in New Jersey. Nashville. I know it's bananas down there. I know it's hot down there. So when I think about my business, Bellamy, what's going on, E? When I think about my business, yes, do I get concerned? What is Dan? I don't know what Dan. I sent him the link already. Let me send Dan the link again, y'all. I'm sorry. I sent him the link 3 days ago. I don't know why. So hold on, y'all. Let me get Dan the link. This is what happens when you deal with grumpy Dan. We're gonna blast Dan when it gets here, y'all. I sent him this link a week ago. 3 days ago. Okay. Y'all help me blast Dan when it gets here. I don't know why he's late. Let me go back here. When you think about the real estate market, right? We get amnesia, don't we, as real estate investors? I have to constantly remind myself, a healthy market is 6 months. A healthy market only in 2004, 5, 6, where this thing went crazy in the wild, wild west, where we were selling houses in a day. Now, you got to think about who we are as investors. And I'm thinking about this every day myself too. We have the best of the best product on the market. We got new kitchens, new roof, new flooring, new plumbing, new paint, new countertops, new bathrooms. We got hardwood, luxury vinyl plank. We got brand new ceramic tile. We've got new fixtures. So we are not necessarily competing with the ordinary resale of a property. Let me say that so you understand. We are not necessarily competing with the hairy homeowner down the street that lives in the property. Everything that we are putting on the market is brand spanking new. So we don't necessarily live in the exact identical world of this market where people are being picky and then they want this, they want that, because we're already giving them the stainless steel. We're already giving them the quartz or the granite countertops. We're giving them the new cabinets and everything, windows, all that stuff. So we are a little different than somebody that's doing a basic resale, right? So I don't want us to get scared. And I have to remind myself, Chris, this is what we do. Americans are slashing prices on homes. They're crazy. This is what we got to deal with the market. Almost 20% of homes for sale in the U.S. housing market last month had their originally listed prices cut by sellers in an attempt to attract reluctant buyers. Now, I went through this same thing. I went through this to myself. I'll pull up one of the houses that we're selling. See if I can pull it up. What's going on, my IG homies here? See if I can pull it up here. Let me pull it up. See, I'll pull that up. So we got a house here that we did sell. Or y'all help me give Dan a hard time. He's late coming into the live here. Hey, Dan.
He's telling me I'm late. Meanwhile, he just sent me the link. I want the audience to know that. He just sent me the link. I can't do anything without him sending me a link first.
Where is my violin? Let me get my violin. Dan, I told you earlier I sent you the link on Friday, dog. I sent you the link Friday.
Nah, that's not what you told me, but We'll agree to
I said I
disagree.
sent you the link already. Everybody's blasting you. Miss James, Eric wants to know where you've been. Miss Jackson, I don't know where Dan been. Anyway, let me show you this pictures here. So this is one we had listed. Oh, what is that? We got it off of it. Oh, darn. Can't see my own house. Wait a minute. Let me see if I can get the picture for y'all.
What are we talking about, Chris?
You're right. We were both late. You're right, Miss James. I mean, Miss Jackson. We were both late. We're talking about houses sitting on the market a little bit longer. We're trying to phrase up what longer is. This is one that we have listed now. We got it offer the other day, 485,000. But it's sad. Now, when we get amnesia, and I have to remind myself that a healthy market is 6 months. A healthy market. And when we don't sell something in 2 weeks, we get all bent out of shape.
Is this stage or is this?
Yeah, we staged it. We paid $2,000 to stage it.
That's very cheap for staging.
Really?
Yeah.
What are you spending?
Similar stage. How many bedrooms is this?
It's a 5, 2.5.
Did they put furniture in all the bedrooms?
Just one. Just the primary bedroom.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't
This
do
would
that.
cost us like $4,000, 4 or 5. This is New York though, different animal. Florida costs us probably about 3,000, 4,000.
Yeah, 2,500. But they didn't do much. It's the primary bedroom here. You got a bed and some end tables and a picture. So this one took 45 days to sell, y'all. And my business partner is nervous. And I have to remind him too. I'm like, dude, where in the world can you make X amount of dollars? And and we're looking at ourselves. Dan has been around the block. I told them, Ron LeGrand told me, Ron, he's been doing this for 40 years. He started in 1984. And he told me last week, he pulled me to the side. He goes, Chris, there hasn't been 1 year since I've been in business that I wasn't able to find people to buy houses from. And there hasn't been 1 year that I couldn't find people to sell them to. And when he told me that, dude, it just set my whole mind at ease.
It all depends on the number you're buying at and the number you're selling at. Has to reflect whatever situation we're in. So I was reading an article. I wish I'd have brought it up.
Yeah,
where something like 63% of the counties in the United States are reporting price reductions in real estate listings.
We had that. That's where we were at, right? We were talking about that before you got here, right there.
What was it? What percent was it?
Well, this is 20% of homes for sale in the whole country have lowered their prices.
According to the article I was reading, it was saying 68% of the counties. They didn't give the amount of doors.
Mm-hmm.
And they were saying how the properties are sitting longer. The reality is that I don't think that's a bad thing for real estate investors.
That's a good thing. It's a good thing.
So everyone here, guys, if you have any questions, we're here to serve you tonight. Please call in that number.
Hey, Castillo, what up? If I were putting a house on the market today, which I am, I've got 5, 6 going right now. How long would I wait before lowering the price? We wait 30 days. We do 30 days. And it all depends. Go ahead.
It all depends at the price point.
Price range. You're talking about 3-4 million. Go ahead. 3-4
million. You would wait 30 days. Like with my condos that I have, a week, 2 in a week. If I'm not getting any showings.
What price is that, Dan? What price is that?
Those are like 160 to 200. If I'm not getting any showings that week, or like
hold 1 second. 1 second, call.
I'm going to do a price reduction that week.
That's under 200,000.
Yes.
Let's start here. Hey, Castillo, we'll come back here after we take our first guest. Caller, you on the line with Chris and Dan? Please state your name and where you're calling from.
Hey, what's going on, Dan? This is Jared calling from Virginia Beach.
Jared from Beach.
We've had you on here before, right, Jared?
Yep, I've been on here a few times. Yep.
What up, Jared? Did I spell it right? Was it with an A? Jared. How you spell Jared? Darn it. I don't know.
Jarrett.
Sorry, dog.
Yeah, and I'm also when I spoke to you yesterday, Chris, about the potential deal in Virginia Beach.
Oh yeah, you sent my team. We got the email, buddy. Yeah, we're gonna go take a look at that. See what we can do for you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for thinking
So
about me.
I was looking at the I was looking at the numbers, and I kind of compared to the other videos that you had, and I'm like, yeah, this isn't really in Chris's ballpark in terms of like what the profit will be. So I just wanted to ask if you thought that it would make sense for me to move forward with it, like just in general, especially as like a new, fix and flipper. Because basically, in total, it's like it'll probably be around $250 is what I pay for it, $3K to the seller, $247 will be debt carried by the seller, and an ARV maybe $320, $315 like conservatively, and then maybe $15K in renovations, but probably $25 conservatively.
Yeah. Even a new construction house needs more than 15,000. I mean, if you just built the house and somebody moved in last year, it needs more than 15,000, Jared. I haven't not one time. Okay, so we said the acquisition is 250, right?
Yeah, 250.
It's worth what?
Mm-hmm. Let's say 315.
315. That leaves you with 65K spread. All
Is
right.
this a long-term hold or is this a fix and flip?
This would be a fix and flip.
But he's buying a sub 2, Dan, so he ain't got a huge financing burden on it.
Yeah.
So you got 65K total. All right.
What's going to be your carrying costs?
This is $1,200 a month. What's the monthly payment, Jared?
It was about $1,450.
So $1,500.
No, he's got more than that because he's got insurance.
Yeah, that was a PITI.
Insurance, you got prorated. You got landscaping. You got prorated.
We got to start with the money. We got to start with the money first. $1,500. That's a month, and then we got all of. So that says just for the interest, taxes, insurance is going to be $5,000 to $6,000 just to hold it for the next 3 to 4 months to sell it. Correct?
Okay. Yeah.
Let's say 10 months, 10 grand. What about your closing costs when you sell it?
That would be about what 8% maybe total for agents and closing costs.
We usually do 10.
So that's 31,500.
Let's just say 31,000. So we got 315, Dan. Minus. Let me do this so we can. This needs to be on here.
Hold on. What was he talking about? Renovation?
Let's just say 20. He said 15, but let's just say 20 because we don't even know.
Okay. So you're looking at it's no room on this deal. It's 300. That's 311,000.
Minus 20 on the reno. Minus 30 in fees. Minus 10,000 in holding costs. Is that where you at? Let's see what else.
I'm at 310.
Let me do this.
Jared, I have a calculator on my website that's only $29 a year that will give you all whether the deal's good to do or not within 5 minutes. Just punching in the number.
Yeah, we get that.
Okay.
And I have one. There's one for fix and flip, and there's one for long-term holds.
Okay.
What number you got,
Dan? So I was originally when I
got 311,000 and
total.
The ARV is 315. There's no meat on this bone.
Yeah. Total, you're getting. Y'all, I hope y'all are seeing this. So total, you're in it. I mean, if you back out 315 minus reno, minus fees and holding costs, you're at 255. Jared, tell us what you're thinking, buddy.
5K is probably in the danger zone.
But don't we got to pay the realtor? We got to pay the seller something too, right? So we got to get the seller.
Yes, I was saying the seller would get. So it would just be 250 overall. He owes 247, and then I give him like $3K to help him move and stuff.
Yeah. All right. So you got our undivided attention, buddy.
So, yeah, it was, and I knew it was kind of tight. So originally I was just talking to the seller about a cash offer, and he couldn't really go lower than 250. And that's when I kind of was like, hey, we could maybe do a subject to deal, and maybe that would kind of help a little bit with creating a little bit less fees with the deal. But
well, we don't want to create.
Yeah, I don't know.
We don't want to go into deals with the best case scenario. We want to go in there and say, if you get struck by lightning, or if a UFO comes down the street and picks you up, can you still make money on this deal? You with me? Did you like that one, Dan? You see, Dan has been in this business. So both of us, I'm not going to say Dan, both of us. You see this gray and all. We try. The problem is we get into deals and then we try to cut this and cut that and do this and do, and then guess what? You end up destroying yourself. But that's not to say this isn't a good deal. It could be a good long-term hold. Shit, if all you got to do is get a guy $5,000, this is not a dead deal. It's just not a quick flip. That's all, brother.
How much would the rent be if you kept?
The problem is that I think the rent would be about $2,300.
How much is your mortgage?
I think that the issue is that
how much is your mortgage, insurance, and tax?
$1,500.
$2,300. That's not a bad return.
That ain't bad, dog. What's the problem?
Yeah, but the issue is that the seller wants to buy another house when he moves to California, and he needs his full VA benefit. So he currently has a VA loan here. He wants another VA loan in California. So
okay,
he would want the house sold.
You could structure that to do that for him, but I don't know if I want you in the hot seat doing that. You could do a deed of trust and give him an instrument and show him getting income and all that stuff, man. But at the end of the day, when people want that off their credit, they can make your life a living hell. Dan? Agreed.
That's not a monkey you want on your back.
No way, especially if you ain't got the money to go cash this damn loan out, bro. Especially.
So what as a flip, what price would you think? Maybe 240? Or do you think 240 would be allow a little bit more room?
Yes.
No way.
I'm looking like I'm thinking like
220, right? 225 at the max.
Me, it would be less. I'll tell you right now. Give me one second. What I would do is do 70% of the after renovation value, and then you got to back out the expenses. So give me one second. I'll tell you how I come out with these numbers. So I'm gonna take 60,000 between your renovations, your carrying costs, and your closing costs, right? So if you have 315,
that's right,
is the after renovation value. Okay, you're gonna minus 60,000 from that. Are you following me, Jarrett? Are you writing this down? And I want the audience, guys, and let's just start from the beginning. What will we pay for this?
This is all right here. He's adding all this up to 60K.
Right. So I'm going to say 315 is the after renovation value. We're going to take out the 20,000 for the rental, 30,000 for closing fees, 10,000 for carrying costs.
Yep. So
we have to deduct 60,000 from the 315. That leaves you 255,000. Times that by 70%. So the most we could pay is 178,500.
How come you're not doing this times 0.75, Dan?
Because if I did that, I still would have to back it out. So it would come out to the same thing.
That's true. You're right.
It's gonna come out to the same thing. You're doing it first. Another way you could do it is you could say 315 times 70% is 220,000. Hold on. 315 times 70% is 220,000, and then you're going to back out the 60 grand, which comes out to even less.
What's 315 times 0.7? Dan?
I thought you.
315 times 70%. That doesn't make sense. Give me a second. It's
I
two.
thought you just back off the rehab costs. You don't
back
keep
off
all
the
the holding
rehab
costs and
costs.
everything there when you use the 70%.
Go ahead, Dan.
No, you want to be at 70% of the value.
Which is?
So that would bring you, that's 220. Now, if you back out the 60,000 between your closing costs, your rental costs, and your interest and your carrying costs, that brings you to 160.
Yeah, you ain't getting that deal, Dan. Ain't no way we can't. We don't do that here.
Right. So now I would be willing to massage your numbers a little bit and go up to 178, 180, but that's it. And the reason you don't want to do more than that, Jared, is because you really don't know where the economy's going. If the interest rates go up, you're going to get a whole lot less buyers, which means you're going to have most likely a longer holding time. You don't know what you're truly going to find in the property. When that man takes out all his furniture is when you're going to get a really good look at what the property needs.
Yep. Jared, anything else real quick, buddy? It's still okay for a hold. Nope. This ain't going to work.
No, not at a hold. I mean, it's not if you're doing subject to and you didn't have to pay off the mortgage.
But you can negotiate with them, Dan. Ask him, like, look, give me 5 years on it. Give me 5 years on it, man. Let me hold it for 5 years.
That's a good
I would do that. That way you got principal pay down. You're making $600 a month times 12. Maybe.
Okay. Yeah, now that I've had this conversation, I can pitch some other stuff to him and see. But he's already been offered cash offers for like 228, 230 a million times, and he said no to all of those. So I know he wouldn't accept like a super low offer.
Here's the thing, man. We're going to let you go, Jared. You know I love you.
Mm-hmm.
I have finally come to the realization that we win either way. I win if I buy the property. That means I'm going to make some money. I also win if you keep the property.
Tell them why, Chris. Tell them why you win if they keep the property.
Y'all got to get this, yo.
I want everyone, please put on your listening ears. This is real. This is the real side of the business. What Chris is going to drop, right? Chris is going to drop not a golden nugget. He's going to drop
the platinum. It's the platinum nugget.
Like a ton, a golden nugget, the size of a ton. Go ahead, Chris, drop it, brother.
See, Dan could already read my mind because Dan crossed this bridge many, many moons ago, right? So I finally last year, I'm like, you know what? I win either way. I win if I buy your house because I'm gonna make some money, and I hear it in your voice. Dan, you hear it? You see? Do you hear how he wants to do this deal?
Mm-hmm.
If I don't buy your house, I still win because you get to keep it, and I don't got the headache, and you get to go out there and find whatever the hell it is you want. So I'm happy, and you happy, right? So both of the ways I win either way. So we get to decide which way we're gonna win.
You know what? And I'm gonna coin this. I'm going to make a post about this. My biggest.
Let me ask one more question.
Hold on, Jared. I want you to take this away, Jared. I wanted you to take this away before you ask your question. The biggest strength you have, the most effective tool you have in your tool bag when you come to negotiating is the ability to walk away. That's your biggest strength.
Jerry, your whole posture now is real. You got what I call deal-itis. And I'm sure your seller can smell it just like we can. Shit, I ain't even mentioned I can smell it. Dan can smell it. So go ahead, Jerry. We got to get you out of here. Go.
Okay, I was going to ask both you and Dan. If you talk to 100, legit motivated sellers, they give you all 4 of the pillars and everything. If you talk to 100 of them, you're happy if you walk away closing how many deals?
Hold on a second. This is the thing. It's an oxymoron type of a question. Because if they were motivated, we should be able to close 100.
Let's just say leads.
I'm saying they
100 leads.
Yeah, leads. 100 leads. Yeah.
Probably 4. I'd say 4 to 5. What would you say, Dan? qualified leads, not listed, not wholesalers, not asking above value. Well, most of them are, but you're only going to get 4 or 5.
All right. So I want to paraphrase this, Jarrett, and I want the audience. How many people we got on here, Chris?
35 on our channel, and Instagram we got 3.
Okay. So I want to paraphrase this, Jarrett. If this is a seller's market, rather a buyer's market, and I have 100 real qualified leads, I'm going to close 60 to 70 of them. If it's a buyer's market, rather, if this was a buyer's market, if this is a seller's market and I have 100 qualified leads, I may close 3 to 4 of them. Because it all depends on where the economy's at. It all depends where the market's at. It all depends how long properties are sitting. It all depends on the area, right? So, for instance, you go to the southwest part of Florida right now, and you give me 100 leads, qualified leads, I'm going to close on 70 of them. If I don't close on 70 of them, I'm going to be asking myself, what did I do wrong? I'm doing something wrong. Now, if you bring me,
I'm sorry, are you saying 7-0 or 7?
7-0. Now, if you bring me 100 qualified leads in New York City,
oh shit,
I may close on 4 of them because New York City isn't experiencing the dilemmas that Florida is experiencing. It's 2 different markets. So it all depends on what market you're in, and it all depends if we're in a seller's market or buyer's market. Where are the interest rates? Are people fearful? There's a lot that goes into this, right? If the news is selling fear of the economy tanking, there's going to be a whole lot less buyers, and sellers are going to be a whole lot more accessible to your offers because they're fearful that if they don't sell, they may lose more.
Jerry, we got to get out of here, man. Good talking to you, buddy.
All right, good talking to you, Chris. Yeah,
Okay,
I'll keep sending the deals your way as I come by me. All right,
appreciate it, man. Okay. That was a good one right there, Dan.
It was real good.
That was juicy. I'm glad he called in. I'm glad he had the guts to say, you know what? This might be something that I need to reconsider. Right? People don't have that guts. Especially trying to talk to grumpy Dan Borrero.
Audience,
I don't know who's grumpier, man.
Am I grumpy, audience? I want the audience to chime in on it.
Y'all
grumpy?
just put a yes in the comment. If Dan Borrero is grumpy, put a yes in the comments. Put a yes in the comments.
So we were talking about Mr. Castillo's question. Let's get back to that.
Let's get back to that.
Guys, call in with your questions. 5-757-204-1332.
How long would I wait to consider the lower price? That's a good one. Price range is the thing, right?
Yeah, guys, and I want our audience to understand, we can't give you one specific answer because we would have to ask you a whole lot more questions.
How many bedrooms, bathrooms, tell me the condition, where is it at, how is it a war zone?
Right. So, when you ask us all these questions, so for instance, I'll give you an example. I had a property in Altamont Springs, a townhouse, not a townhouse, a 2-bedroom condo, 2-bedroom, 2-bath corner unit. I started at 170. First week, we only had 3 people that showed up to look at it, right? I immediately told my realtor to drop it by $5,000. We only had 8 people, look at it. The second week, no offers. I immediately told my realtor at the end of the second week, drop it $5,000.
Call a hold 1 second. We got you. Call a hold 1 second.
Within 2 weeks, we had we had like 20 showings, little over 20, 2 weeks, no offers. Sent my realtor back. I says, I'm looking at the pictures that I have. I want to see the inside of these. Now, this is a unit that I haven't put my eyes on that I owned for 9 years, that I was renting for $1,750. I bought the property for $72,000. I was making almost $1,200 a month on the rental.
Wow.
Profit. Okay. So I said to the realtor, send me detailed pictures of the inside of the appliances. Sends me the pictures. I ordered an appliance package for $1,700. Within a week that I put these appliance packages in, I got 4 offers. I just sold it at full asking price. But you notice I didn't wait a month. Now, it all depends on the market you're in.
Analyzed it.
Right. If it was a $3 million deal, I'd wait a month. Because there's a whole lot more people who could buy $160,000 property than there are people that could pay $3 million.
That's true. Good point, Dan. I'm glad you analyzed that. And you went in there. You said, you know what can I do? What can I do? A lot of people don't even ask that question. Caller, you're on the line with Chris and Dan. Please state your name and where you're calling from.
It's Mike from Nashville. How you doing?
What's your name?
Michael.
Mike from Nash. Oh, you the attorney?
Yeah.
What up? Is it Hollins or Hammonds? What is the other name?
Hollins, yes.
We gotta bring you on here one day, brother. Send my team. Email us your information, man. I'd like to hear learn more about you. How can we help you?
Well, I'm coming across new duplex deals in what I think you would consider war zones. And I'm wondering if you all have an overall thought about brand new property in war zones where you have, thought that the values will go up.
Okay, so I have a couple of questions for you, Michael. What makes you think the area is going to go up? What is there to make you believe the area is going to go up in value?
There was a zoning change recently that allowed for duplex in the area. And so we're talking about a duplex. And so there's been an influx of new duplex being built in that area. And they're being built and sold very quickly. And the zoning thing, I guess it was held up by the city council for many years. And then locally, politically, that changed.
Okay, so I'm going to have quick question, just yes or no. Are there any road expansions, hospital expansions?
No, the area is actually very close to downtown. So there's no expansion to be had. Yeah.
What about employment? Any growth in employment opportunities?
Yeah, the city itself has a lot of growth, but this particular area has been the war zone for years. But the city is booming.
All right. Is the police department taking any effort to communicate with the community, having community meetings, anything like that?
I don't live in the area, so it'd be an out of town purchase for me that I'm gonna go and I'm gonna actually house hack it and just move on in. My thought is to just use a VA loan and get in it. And you can talk on that, but I'll know more when I get there about the community relations. Okay,
so this is the way I look at it. I love buying what you're describing as a D-class neighborhood. I love buying in D-class neighborhoods that are right next to a B-class or C-plus neighborhood. Now, what I like about this is that since it's brand new, you now have the opportunity to pick a D-class tenant application that has the qualifications of a C plus, with the exception of the income, right? So when you offer a B class property in a D class neighborhood, you're going to get the cream of the crop of those D class rental applications. Now, what happens is that a lot of these applicants, just because they financially puts them in a D class category, many of them have good credit. Many of them have jobs that they're working on or going to school and working. So you're going to have the ability to pick from the better of the D class applicants. They just happen to, their personalities may be B class applicants. Their ideology, the way they think, is a B class, and the way they live is a B class. They just don't have the income to sit in that B class property or neighborhood. Do you follow? So if the property sits in an area that's emerging, I would do it, yes. And because it's brand new, you're going to have the ability to pick the better of those tenants for that area.
What's the price range, man?
All right. So this price is sitting at, they're going from 370 to 400. The prices have dropped a little bit. I guess the developers are not wanting to hold them for that 60 to 90 days that you mentioned that it takes to sell. Mm-hmm. And so now the 400 properties are now 370. The 370 properties are now 350. That 5% that you always talk about, they're literally dropping 5% month after month. And so I figure before they're all gone, I probably need to get down there and take a look at it.
The other thing you may want to consider, I see a lot of people with new construction telling the contractor, this builder, hey, I'll buy it, but you got to pay down my point. You got to pay points so I can buy down my interest rate. And they're doing it.
Yeah, good.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely something to consider. I think I've seen rates. Yeah, they're under 7, but that's a good idea for sure.
Listen, I came across one of my mentees. He negotiated a deal where the builder brought down his interest rate to 5.75. He paid the points to buy down his interest rate.
But what makes you now? Why do you care? I'm just like, what you're telling me doesn't sound like if you were to say this is a $50,000 or $70,000 or $90,000 price, I would be like, you know what, we need to go look into this. But you're talking, look at that. I mean, we're talking 300 to 400. What makes my spit glands start to drool? Why do I care about that price range? That doesn't sound like it's something that makes me want to go jump in. I'm not drooling. Why are you drooling? I'm not saying you shouldn't be, but I don't know why.
There's a backstory to why I would be drooling. It has nothing to do with the numbers. I don't know if you want to know the backstory or not, but
if it ain't no number. Yeah, we gotta hold that for personal. Why are we doing this if it ain't about the numbers, dog? You know I love you. You know we got love for you. Why are we? If it's personal, then that's a whole different conversation.
Well, I will say that when I look at the empty lots and I look at the cost to renovate the duplexes that are in that particular area and in that zip code, just in that metroplex, I mean, I'm upward. The numbers can get close to that, and I will probably go in with more equity for sure. But I feel like this particular area next door in that B class, these are $550,000, $600,000 duplexes. So again, to be in the D next to the B, I feel like that there's something there. I don't know. My gut is telling me that this would pay off, and I'm okay with holding it. I feel like.
Hey, Mike, I've made my wealth buying D class properties.
But you held them though, Dan.
Areas.
But you held them though. You held them. He's willing to do that. I think that's good.
If you're willing to do the long term, listen, the real dollar.
You can't lose. Even if this shit doesn't go up, you can't lose if you hold it. I mean,
as long as the rents leave you a substantial cash flow, who cares?
Mike, thanks for calling, dog. We can talk to you, man.
All right, thank you.
Okay. But then here's the thing, man. As I get older, I'm like, I just want to do easy shit, dog. I don't know, man.
And that's why he probably wants to do the new construction. He don't have to manage it. He don't have to, deal with architects and land clearing and permitting process and the bankers and come on. It's like, the cost of materials going up. I mean, guys, I just canceled the renovation I was going to do.
You want to tell them about that? Y'all call in. We'll take one more call.
Yeah.
757-204-1332.
I have a tenant that just informed me they were vacating at the end of August, or at the end of July. They only have to give me a 30-day notice, but they obviously gave me more than that. And I know I have to go in there and renovate. I haven't renovated that apartment in like 28 years. I know the apartment needs a new kitchen and new bathrooms and new windows.
You talking what, 40 grand?
For that unit, up about 60. Right. Remember, these are New York numbers, right? I don't mind spending it because the reality, because this is a building I'm going to keep from here to Kingdom Come. So
yeah.
the next time any major work's going to need to be done in that apartment, if I renovate it, it'll be my kids' problems.
Mm.
However, this is the deal. When I look at how much more rent I'm going to get versus how long it's going to take me to recoup the 60 grand, because of some materials pushing me out to 7.5 years. Not doing it. If I can't recoup my money within less than 36 months, I'm not doing it.
Caller, hold 1 second. Hold the line, caller,
So,
please.
if things don't change by the time she vacates, that unit's getting clean painted, any repairs that have to be made is being made, and I'm renting it out.
Put it back on there.
So these are the things that we always have to be looking at.
Well, I think Mike, as long as he's willing to hold it, can't lose.
Yeah.
And I do like the fact that he's going to buy new construction. Caller, you on the line with Chris and Dan? Or is it Dan and Chris? Yeah, you're on the line with Dan and Chris. State your name and where you're calling from.
What's going on, y'all? This is Jamon, man, from Douglasville, Georgia.
How are you, brother?
Jamal, what up, bro?
Oh, what's going on, man? What's going on, man? How y'all doing, man? I got to check in on my guys, man. Y'all my brothers from different mothers, man. I got to check in on y'all, man.
We stressed out, man. We ain't getting no love, and we giving all our money away to our wives. So how does that sound?
Hey, same here.
Hold on, brother. Hold on. I want to make sure. I want to make one thing clear. Chris is speaking for himself, not for Dan Borrero.
Oh, shit! I'm getting all my money away to my wife. Go ahead. Yeah, well.
I give my money to my wife, man. I am getting the love.
Nah, I feel y'all, man. My girl, she's a translator for Interpol, so I know, man. I know the feeling, man. I know the feeling.
What you got, buddy?
Yeah, man. I just want to say, man, things are getting crazy out here, man. Like I say, I'm west of Atlanta. As of last week, there were 674 rental properties available. Now, with that being said, I'm gonna give the details. These were 4 bedroom plus, 3 bathroom plus, minimum rental price $3,500 and above.
Mm-hmm.
674 on the market right now, and there's still more coming right now.
Wow.
On this market. I study micro mapping. I was telling folks over a year and a half ago, Atlanta's about to have problems. I was laughed at. I said, okay, just sit back and watch. Now the same folks now, hey, Jamal, what should I do? What should I tell my client? I said, as an investor, I'm gonna tell you. The only thing I can tell your client to pack. I told you a year and a half ago what was gonna happen in Atlanta. But they didn't want to listen.
You did that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy, man. Like, look it up. Yeah.
A lot of stuff out there.
And what's the cause of that?
Yeah, the deals will start coming.
What's the cause? What do you think is causing that?
Honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I'm originally from the Bay Area. I'm originally from California. They were out here appealing to the people from the East and the West Coast, trying to get all that money, doing the whole magic show thing, doing 3 or 4 years ago. We don't get into that, but yeah. But they were getting that money.
5 bedroom, 5 bathroom house rent. Who in the world? That's not even a rental property right there. Come on.
They was getting that money, and they outpriced the locals. Now, like a 1 bedroom in Midtown Atlanta is $1,900. Okay, now somebody who's from the East or West Coast, that's gravy. But for the locals, you priced them out, and you had a lot of outsiders coming here, but they had no idea property taxes and insurance differ from county to county. Like I'm out here in West Georgia. Our insurance and property taxes is cheaper versus what they pay in DeKalb County or north of the Atlanta suburbs in Cobb.
Man, look at this product,
of folks who ain't coming, they had no idea.
Product?
Yeah.
Look at these products.
Yeah. Yeah, and these are single families.
In New York City, I get that for 600 square feet.
I'm just saying, look at the product. They got fresh. Everything is fresh to death.
You renting that out. You ain't making no money with that at those numbers.
Heck no.
No. And that thing, what's up?
Every house is fresh to death. Look at this dude.
And here's the thing, but see, But see, again, with me, I deal with the higher end stuff. I deal like with the higher end stuff in that 750 price point and above. I'm looking at these 4-bedroom, 3 baths that are like 3,500 and above. It's and a lot of those folks were doing the Airbnb thing. Well, what started happening? These homeowners, these HOAs started foreclosing on these folks because a lot of these folks, again, who ain't from here, have no idea HOAs can foreclose on you. So they were losing property doing the sublease thing. And then now a lot of these folks overpaid doing the magic show 3 or 4 years ago. And now they're just basically trying to find another dummy to take their mistake off their hands. Because, they chose to, date the rate, marry the house nonsense. Now
who made that mess? Who came up with that mess?
Man, you know how many times I heard people
I want to go shoot that damn person that came up with that.
And the majority of them, and the majority of them are not even in business no more. The majority ain't even in real estate no more. Yeah, because they got ran out of real estate. Because again,
look at this.
Yeah,
damn, this product is unbelievable.
That's nice product.
But every house, though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you. If I were to show you where we live, you got A to Z, but there's no Z down here. Look at this. How does this end up being a rental property? This is not
How much rent is they paying?
Hold on, let me see. That was 2,500. This is not a rental property.
I don't have not even a 1-bedroom for less for that amount.
We know the values are different, but still, this is not a rental property. Like, this is not, you don't buy this to rent.
That's a tough property to maintain with a tenant in it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Tell them why, Dan.
The work, it's just
a lot of square footage. A lot of detail. Y'all see all this stuff? This is not something. Let me zoom in. You don't want to rent this. Whoever's renting this, like you said, Jamon.
Me personally, I'd sell it and take the loss and write it off on my taxes. Move on.
Yeah, this is all this. What is this? Dutch? What is it called, Dan? This is vertical siding.
Yeah, I mean, look at the garage doors alone, the barn door.
Oh my Lord, this is not a rental property. Look at this work. Look at this shit.
Yeah, see,
wow,
too much detail work.
See,
look at the door. They break that door.
Yeah, It'd be on the financing for me all day. This is on the financing terms all day for me. Because a lot of these folks got these properties are desperate right now. They're hemorrhaging right now, and a lot of these folks are starting to kind of do what they did back in the 2008: take the keys, throw them on the table, and walk the heck away. And we ain't gonna talk about what's going on the commercial side down here. We ain't talking about what's going on the commercial side because like you guys been saying it, all these loans is coming due starting this third quarter, all of 26 and all of 27.
Scary stuff.
So yeah.
Thanks for dropping that on us, dog. Indeed. That was a good eye opener there, man. Thank you.
No problem, man. Like I said, I be telling these people, like Dan said, like people are buying stuff out here because of the brand name. And that's why it is just a brand name at this point. Like it's like you're trying to rent this out like this mega mansion out. Good luck with that because they can go to Northside Drive and get a property for $7,000 a month. You trying to rent one of these pretty homes in a war zone out here for $3,000 a week? Yeah, they gonna tell you take a hike.
Thanks for calling, man.
But I'm gonna hang up now, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Like always, man. I got love for y'all, man.
All right, much love to you. That was a good conversation, Dan.
That was a good one, bro.
Wow. So when I do a search here where I live in Hampton Roads, you do Zillow. I got A class, B, everything. I didn't see not one. Not everybody's going to have a nice house for rent. Dan, I went 3 pages, 30 listings a page, nothing ugly.
Look, this is, people tell me all the time, well, prices keep going up. Well, my kids won't be able to afford it. No. The market corrects itself. That's what I love most about capitalism. When people get overzealous, the market will humbleize you.
It's damn sure enough will,
Dan.
The
market will always correct itself.
Humbleize. I like that.
The market always corrects itself.
Or to correct you.
It will correct you. Now, when it corrects itself, there's going to be a whole lot of losers, and there's going to be a whole lot of winners. Now, if you are watching,
but we get to choose which side, right?
Right. Now, if you're watching Dan and Chris every Sunday night, you're going to be on the winning side.
You get to choose. You know, it's so weird. When I first called Jared, I sensed so much emotion. I sensed him wanting to do this deal, Dan. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
that I sensed it too. And that's
dude,
why I brought, I'm glad I don't remember if you brought it up or I did, but our biggest, the most effective tool in our tool bag is the ability to walk away.
you win. You get to keep your house. Do we sell our substitute deals that I have acquired? No. Or your substitute deals are priority to sell over other acquisitions? Absolutely not. Think about it, y'all. Where in the world can you buy a house? No credit, no tax return, no bank qualifications, no home inspection, no appraisal, nothing. That's why we do not sell substitute houses if we can avoid it. Prashant, I'm currently in the process of renting. Okay, and this is my first time renting. Oh, okay. I have tenants with credit scores 5 to 600. What should be my next move? Is low credit score or no? Dan?
Chris, you know what I'm going to say.
Y'all already know what Dan gonna say. I don't care about credit, but we're two different markets.
If I'm in for my New York properties, you don't have a 740 credit minimum, I ain't even gonna look at the application.
I ain't gonna look at you now.
If you're in my Florida market, you need a no less than 680 credit score.
Somebody already said it, Dan. A lot of times tenants will be rejected because of low credit score. They already know that with Dan.
So I want everyone to understand this. If I rent you an apartment for $1,000 a month, I'm going to use very simplistic numbers. If I rent you an apartment for $1,000 a month, I'm essentially giving you a credit line of $12,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, you're going to have my worldly possession under your control, which is my property, right? So not only am I giving you a credit line of $12,000 a year, I'm handing you over my asset. I'm saying, here, take care of my asset for me. Please don't destroy my asset, right? And the only way I know if you have a history of paying your bills on time is through your credit score. So don't get mad at Chris or myself or any other landlord that won't give you an opportunity to rent from us because your credit score is low. We didn't make your credit score low. Those were life choices that you made. We had nothing to do with the choices you made. We don't even know you. So if you don't want to have a bad credit score and you want better interest rates when you go for a mortgage or a car loan, or you want a better opportunity to have a nicer apartment, then concern yourself with how you look like on paper. Your credit score is part of your resume in life.
Basically. You got to get it right. Dan, Deborah wants to know, what do you think about Camden?
I think Camden is an area that's been coming up the past 5 to 7 years. There's a lot of investors I know that have been buying there. I haven't looked up there in 2 years, so I couldn't tell you what's transpired, but I suspect that properties are a lot higher than they were 2 years ago.
We'll take one more call, y'all.
Say that there's no opportunity there. I just haven't looked there in a while.
We'll take one more call. Dan has a swag. No, he just attitude. A little. Okay, Castillo, I'll let you get away with that because you probably got that same damn.
He's a New Yorker, Mr. Castillo.
I already know what he be.
He's an ultimate landlord warrior graduate, man.
I already know. Castillo, I'm gonna leave you alone. He probably get me. Thanks, Derek. Oh, somebody saying that. Jamal, I live in New Jersey.
Give us a call, and we'll take one more call before we go.
Do you have advice, Braveheart, on abandoned property? It's inhabitable by the city. Okay, someone's been mowing the grass, probably the city. I don't know if it's a good neighbor keeping up with it, but I suggest to check the taxes.
Listen, I love inhabitable properties. That gives me the opportunity to go in there and gut it and renovate from the brick from the walls up. Right? Bring in new water lines, new sewer lines, put in new roof, new windows, new doors, new insulation, new plumbing, new sheetrock, new flooring, new kitchens, new baths. Like when I'm done, I don't have to do anything for no major work for the next 28 to 30 years. Right. And I did the work. So I know the quality of work. And when something goes wrong because I did the work, I know where to go look to resolve the problem. Right.
There you go.
So, and if I would suspect it's probably one of the neighbors that doesn't want an unsightly house.
Yeah,
Next
I
to
would cut
Right.
it.
I've done it.
Or I call the city. Yeah.
I've done it. I've had my workers clean the property next door because I don't, it's unsightly. And the reality is that's a really good sign. That means there are people that live on the block that care about where they live. That means that you have a lot more likely probability of properties increasing when everyone concerns themselves with keeping the block nice.
Yep. I don't know what that is. What do you look for when funding deals? I'm doing a spec mobile home land development. Look at the JV with private lenders.
What do you look for when funding deals? I'm not sure what the question means.
Yeah, we're not necessarily funders. We will finance some deals with a few particular hand-picked people. Dan and I both will do it. But if you're doing development, man, I'm just not into doing development because markets can change on your ass, especially right now.
And if you've never done it, there's going to be a lot of hiccups. You're going to go through. I don't want to go through those hiccups with you.
I would get a partner that's done this a million times, and I would just partner with them
and learn from them while you're doing it.
Dan, he wants to know about JVing with private lenders. I don't think that's the right people to JV with on this, unless you're the. Have you done this before? Let us know. If you've done it before, you probably have lending already. The lowest score I would take would be 600. Dan ain't going that low. What up, Eric Tan? What up, brother? Guys, it's been good talking to y'all. Don't get scared. Dan, what would you say about what Ron told me about every year he has no problem finding motivated sellers?
Listen, the reality is if you want to buy or sell property, you can. The problem becomes at what rate will you do it, right? Like up until 2017, 18, I was doing about 190 closings a year. Last year, I only did 45 closings because the numbers didn't make sense.
You still buying and selling, though. That's my point.
Right. We're still buying and selling. It's just some years will be more than others. The market dictates how active we are.
And that's okay. Dan, I had to tell a client the other day, it's okay to not do a ton of deals why as us as humans think that the next year is going to be a bigger and better year? Where do we get this from?
It doesn't have to be. Bigger is not always better. Just keep that in mind.
Dan been doing this longer than all of us. And I, for myself too, I'm like, I'm not buying as many houses as I am, but I have to look at the numbers and I have to be happy with the deals that I did, but I said no to a bunch of bad ones, y'all.
Yeah, the reality is I did 45 closings, but my numbers were really sweet.
You're still doing okay. It's not like you're not losing. You're just doing and y'all, the older you get, you'll realize less is more. Less is more, man. All right. Make sure you guys, there's a link in the video description to give us your email address.
I'm sorry, Chris. What were you going to say?
That the link is for the waiting list for the Ultimate Landlord Survival Training next time. And we got office hours coming up. All of my warriors, we're going to send you an email this week. And Dan and I will be texting you and calling you to get you rocking and rolling in our mastermind.
Yeah, guys. So, if you want to join us for our next Ultimate Landlord Survival Guide Mastermind, we graduated 48 Ultimate Landlord Warriors, because that's what you will be called. That's what you will become. That's when you'll be certified. Right? So if you want to join us, you want to truly learn how not to pick the wrong tenant, how to renovate your properties, how to do your seasonal cleaning, the importance of what your seasonal cleaning will bring. How does that increase your tenant, rather decrease your tenant vacancy rate and increase your tenant satisfaction rate? right? If you want to learn how to deal with a tenant that is confrontational, violent, accusational, right? There's a method behind this. We've been doing this for many years. Don't make the mistakes that Chris and I made. We're teaching you this. So if you want to be part of this class, this mastermind, put yourself on the waiting list. The next class will be late September. This class we just graduated 48 ultimate landlord warriors. They're ready to go out there and make a difference in the world. They are ready to go out there, cash flow positively, but yet still exceptional landlords where they concern themselves with the safety and the cleanliness of that property and making sure that they understand that everybody that lives in the property deserves to live in a clean and safe environment. So you want to learn how to do that, the link is below.
Yeah, the link for the day. Buying the property is just the first step. We had one of our warriors. She's like, I got my property already. I mean, do I need to really do this? I'm like, wow. Buying the property is step one. You got so many more things.
Now you got to manage that property and you got to manage your tenant, because the tenant won't manage you if you don't.
Yeah, they definitely will.
They're going to smack you up.
Thanks, Dad. Round up, subscribe, share this stuff. I'll see y'all on the next video. Peace.
Good night, everyone.